Yeah. No. 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 Yeah.
Another exciting episode of Wine Down with Kev. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to tune into our live stream today. Thank you to everyone that has already liked and subscribed to Wine Down with Kev on YouTube. If you haven't done it, please do so now. And if you love the content we create today, please do so before the end of the show. Also, before we get started, definitely want to take a minute to thank my sponsors, Carol Media and Canopy Connect. Please talk to them for all of your digital and social media needs. That being said, I am super excited today. We have a wonderful guest as we continue on our journey of podcasting with 50 agents from 50 different states across these great United States. Today is no different. We have a very exciting guest today. She has been an agent since 2007, exact same year I started. She is an elite agent. She's very involved in her community. She has won all of the awards, every sales award that's offered, honoring national conference, circle of champions, whatever the top level is, she has won that award. She is very involved in the community. She's absolutely a leader and a giver in her community. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to introduce to you someone who I call my friend, Brooke Brolo. Brooke, welcome to the podcast. How are you today?
Hi, Kevin. Thank you so much for that intro. I'm awesome. I'm so awesome. I'm so glad we're finally doing this.
Absolutely. It's been a little while in the making. So I did what I could do with that intro, but tell the people something about yourself that I didn't say.
Sure. I'm a mom of two crazy boys, two teenage boys. So, I know nothing, but you made me sound like I know a lot. They think I know nothing. But, I'm an agent here in Little Rock, Arkansas. Been around for 17 years in February. So
Yes.
wow, it's been a trip, right? Married to my husband, Jason, of 20 years. He works with me here at the agency. So that's fun, but yeah, that's you nailed it. You said most of the things.
No, well, shout out to Jason and your boys. Thank them for sharing us with you this morning. Brooke, right off the bat, tell me what you love about being an all-state agent in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh gosh. Mostly I just love helping customers, protect them and educate them. I knew I wanted to be in a business, helping people. Like that's where my passion is. That's where I thrive. So I get to do that through, insurance. And it wasn't my first love, and it was kind of a pain to purpose journey, but it's been amazing, and I love it because when you educate people on insurance and something they think they just have to have, I'm like, oh, you want this because it's going to protect you, from potential financial devastation, that I saw firsthand, which is the whole reason I got into the business. So it just makes me happy. It just makes me happy helping people in that manner. So, and I get to do it in a fun sales environment too, because, I'm super competitive, so I get the best of both worlds.
I love it. I love it. So, two questions. Take your time and answer both. Uh, Tell us how you got into insurance, and please expand on that comment, that pain to purpose journey. What's that about?
Yeah. So, you know, 19 years ago, I guess my stepfather who raised me, he was diagnosed with cancer, terminal cancer. During that time, my parents lived in Texarkana, Texas, and they went to MD Anderson several hours away for 6 months to try to save his life. And during that time, um, his life insurance lapsed. It was a term policy. My aunt was collecting the mail, keeping the lights on, things like that. The agent never picked up the phone and called. One phone call could have saved a huge term life policy.
My
And they had
God.
spent all of their money, all of their savings, all their retirement, sold their vending truck business to try to, find to keep him alive.
Yes.
And when he passed away, my mother had nothing, nothing.
My God.
They had owned a business together. They sold it. So she had her home that she owned. She sold that to start over at almost 50. And I just felt in my soul that it was my calling. We're not going to go to law school anymore. Like, we're going to go be an insurance agent. Like, that was never, ever something that was even in the forefront of my mind. And so that's what led me, that pain to purpose journey, and why I have such passion in it, because I know one phone call could change everything. And I saw what it did to my mom, and I didn't want that to happen to anybody else. So
I
that's
am
how.
crystal clear on pain to purpose now. That is the biggest compelling why. You have become the person that your family needed, and you get to be that for other families. That's so awesome, Brooke. You and I have talked a lot, but I'm sure I did not know that full backstory. So anybody in Little Rock, Arkansas, or the greater state of Arkansas, if you don't want to have that experience, Brooke Brolo is absolutely the person to talk to. So, Brooke, what did you do before? And what would you say to someone in Arkansas that may be thinking about getting into the insurance business? Is it hard? What's the process if I moved to Arkansas tomorrow and I didn't have and I wanted to get started? How does someone start?
Yeah, no, I didn't. Anything new, it's not hard. You just don't know what you don't know, right? But you can go out there. Google is a wonderful thing. Chat GPT is a wonderful thing. You can go out there, and find exactly how to do it. You need to be 18 years old. You take a pre-licensing course for property and casualty or personal lines. You take a state exam. You pass it with a 70%. Voila. Um, But you don't have to have any experience. I didn't have any experience. I started out as a scratch agent. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Right? I'd never sold insurance. I'd never owned a business. And you can make it happen. If you have that drive and determination, for sure. My background was I did sales in college at retail sales. I waitressed. I was a paralegal.
Wow.
So I'm very, that's another thing too. Like I'm very like, well, this could happen, so it kind of
Right.
all flowed in. I think all those things helped me shape the type of agent that I am today, and trying to protect people. So I didn't have those, I didn't have any skills. You have to start somewhere, right?
You got you have to start somewhere. You may as well. So, Brooke, let's talk about Arkansas. I've been to Arkansas once in my life. I was on some sort of all-state trip. The trip was in Branson, Missouri, and then we went over to Arkansas. We did some fishing. Most beautiful place I've been to in my life. It was like clear water. I didn't actually catch a fish, but there's a photo of me catching a beautiful striper. So that's the truth behind the story. But talk to me about Little Rock, Arkansas. What sort of natural disasters hit your area that's really important that you have to protect customers from?
Yeah. So, and it's funny because you were like, I went on an all-state trip to Arkansas, and I was like, wait a second, what? I was like,
No,
wait a minute,
Branson,
you're right.
Missouri. That's where we're at. We just
It
kind
is
of
a
went over there.
beautiful state and a beautiful town, and everyone should visit. But yes, we are a part of what they call Tornado Alley.
Okay.
So we have tons of windstorms, straight line winds, tornadoes, hailstorms. It is a big part. It's very seasonal. So it's something that, we deal with a lot. And as an agent, I just try my best to be proactive because we know it's seasonal. We know it's here every year, almost every year. We have something, if not multiple times a year. So I try to be proactive as an agent, and my service team knows as well, and my sales team when we're talking coverage and making sure that they have, the right protection, and that we educate them and we drip out things to them and how to protect yourself and how to potentially avoid a claim and things like that. It's just so important because there is a lot that happens in our state.
So, Brooke, I've been in this business for almost 4 decades. I've never heard of Tornado Alley. So, if someone were to buy insurance from me in Arkansas from a New York agent or an 800 number or a .com company that doesn't know as much about Tornado Alley as you do, what are some of the key coverages that maybe they would miss out on that someone an 800 number that's never been there just wouldn't know?
Right. I mean, you got to have the wind and the hail, deductible. You have to have that coverage. To me, it's super important that exactly what you have, because you may think, because some people say, okay, I have an all peril deductible, but then there's the wind and hail deductible, and we'll have the wind and hail deductible at like 2%, which sounds small, but it's not if you have a $500,000 home.
Ooh.
Right? You got a $10,000 deductible. You need to know, like, your roof may be $20,000, and then you're paying half of your roof. So we really try to educate our customers on, this is what it looks like. Here's what you need. Here's what this coverage is specifically for. So if you have $1,000 deductible everywhere else, but you have a 5% wind and hail or 2% wind and hail, whatever, it's not $1,000 out of pocket. So we want to make sure that they carry that coverage.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Little Rock, you heard it first here. You heard it from Brooke Brolo. Buy local, buy from an agent in the know, and Brooke is definitely in the know. Brooke, let's get out of the office. Let's get in the community. I follow you on social, obviously. I talk to you. I know you do a lot, not only with your boys and the baseball, but let's talk about 2 or 3 of your favorite charities that you're working on in the community right now.
Right. Like you said, I do a lot with my boys and work. So there's not a ton of time. I used to have more time to commit to my community, Arkansas Lighthouse for the Blind. I put on fundraisers and attended the council meetings. Now it's more spent in awareness, bringing
Yes.
awareness to the charities that I love. Women and Children First for domestic abuse victims. That's huge for me. I'm a big I have a donation station where we collect items and that we will take there to them. We bring awareness. I support all of their fundraising events. I'll either buy a table or buy, or send them money. The van, which is super near and dear to my heart, it's for our homeless population here in Little Rock and surrounding areas. Like, it got really, really freaking cold this year. Like, I know you're used to temperatures of whatever, but here in the South, like, we don't get that kind of cold, right? And earlier in January, I was just on, so you may have seen it. I was on social media like crazy, just posting, reposting everything that Aaron, who runs the van, was putting out there, because they were trying to buy a building, basically a warming house, like for things like this. And the Monday, or it was like Friday, and they only had like till Monday to secure financing for this building that they were trying to get. And the financing fell through. I don't know the ins and outs why, but he took to
Right.
social media, and I was like, okay, I'm going to share. I was like, I sent it to everyone I knew. I blasted it. Please share this. Everyone else did too. And they raised enough money to buy the entire building.
My God.
And so it's just, so for me, it's to bring awareness and to help however I can, if that's monetary, if it's support, if I have, a collection station to take to them. I wish I could get out there more and go volunteer my actual time more, but with 2 teenage kids, you do what you have to do. And I think that this is just as good as way. If you can't be out there and you're not where you're in a position in your life, you can still make a difference
You
by
can
bringing
make
the
a
awareness.
You made a big difference digitally, Brooke. So let me recap that story to make sure I got it. So you have this organization, the Van, that was trying to raise enough money to secure financing, to secure a loan to buy a building to help the homeless for whatever the definition of cold is in Arkansas. The financing fell through, but through your digital involvement, really putting the word out there, they didn't know they no longer needed the loan, but enough money was raised to buy the building outright.
No, 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 no. This was not all me. No, no, no. Like, I will not
Everybody, the
take any credit
community,
for that.
the
But
community
I
don't want
just
to give you
wanted to
credit.
help bring the awareness.
That's
They have a
huge.
huge following, but I just felt compelled, like, to get it out there and to share it and encourage everyone else out there to share it. And enough people did that. And it was a big, huge, community, push that they were able to do that. And that right there in itself is just amazing, in the power of bringing awareness and having a presence online. And when you can't be there in person, there are other ways that you can show up for the organizations that you love.
Show up and show out. And Brooke, that reinforces the point in the best way possible of why I'm doing 50 podcasts with 50 agents from 50 different states. That's something that other brands simply can't do. One, they don't have the awareness at the community level to really galvanize people and bring them together from something that touches everyone. So great job to you and everyone else that's involved. And nothing but love and respect for all those that will be helped by that effort. So Brooke, let's talk a language that you and I have in common. Let's talk about how important your digital and social media presence is. The backstory, I know, when you started in your business, you got a good old big yellow page book and you started calling people. But let's talk about that pivot from the yellow pages to what you do digitally now to create that community awareness, to educate people, and to really help put your brand out there.
Yeah, I had so much fun on our digital mastery course, where we learned so much about each other. And it's like, look at these 2 old timers. I mean, we're not that old, right? But like, look at us trying to lead the charge on it and encourage other people to do it too, no matter what your age. Because when I started 17 years ago, and you started 17 years ago, like, it was totally different to what it is
Yes.
now. So you have to
Yes.
evolve, you have to adapt, right? And this is the future. So having a digital footprint, a presence to brand yourself, not the company you work for, yourself, because people do business with people, not brands.
Yes.
It's so important to have. And if you don't have, if you're not in that space, like, you are missing it. Because you can reach your reach. Oh my gosh, the reach and the connections that I've made with to COIs, to my customers, to, connections I never would have had with other agents and people that I having things in common with is extraordinary. You cannot find that anywhere else. Like, where can you be all places at one time without going anywhere?
And at the same time, you're actually in the office or at the baseball game or enjoying quality time with your family. So let's talk about that pivot point. From the outside looking in, observing you on social media, you went from a present, some pictures, some information, to really being visual and really being verbal on social media. What was that pivot point for you, and what has it done for your business since?
Oh, I don't remember just waking up going, I've got to change something. Things are just different. Like, not everything is hitting like it used to. And I was like, who do I know? So I went and looked for people in the space that were doing it better than I was, that were already in that space, right? You were already in that space. Christina Shaw was already in that space. Nick Saka was in that space. And I was like, okay, listen and learn, listen and learn. And then, I took those things and, then I ran with it and just educated myself. I watched seminars, I watched webinars, I followed other creators, I followed other insurance agents, I went out there and just really invested because it's a lot to learn between the
Yes.
platforms and what to post and when, and it's a strategy. Like, I treat it like a lead source
Yes.
because it is. And
Yes.
any type of lead source, like, you're going to have a process around,
Yes.
or you should, right?
Yes.
If you want it to work.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, I gave myself a 30-day commitment. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to try to bring value to the people that are watching. It's not about me. It's about them. What would they want to hear? What would I want to hear as a consumer from an insurance standpoint, or something that I don't know that's confusing? We all know what those things are because we hear them in our agency every day. So I was like,
Right.
I'm going to bring those things to light here. And I started getting views and I started getting likes. And then I had a friend of ours who had moved from Texas to Arkansas and was like, don't kill me, but we moved to Arkansas like 6 months ago and I totally forgot you're an insurance agent until I saw your video. And I want
Yes.
you to quote my property. And we ended up writing all 9, personal items of theirs, from a post that I did, just giving value. And so that was at that point, I was like, I'm on to something. If he
Yes.
saw it, then someone else may see it. They might not be saying anything. They may be scrolling and watching, maybe not even hearting. But then all of a sudden I'll get a call and like, hey, I saw your video on so-and-so. And I'm like, okay.
Yes.
So I really was like, okay, this confirms everything that I'm feeling. And I've got to stay in this space because how I can go pay thousands of dollars to be on, it's like my digital billboard, basically, right?
Yes.
That's exactly how it is. And so I try to be in all spaces that I can, and I can do that right through social media. So that's kind of the backstory of it.
And you're having fun. You're having fun. There's like
I am.
so many specific videos I can ask you about. You did one yesterday I thought was informative and hilarious. But rather than me trying to pinpoint what I like the best, which one has 2 questions? Which one have you had the most fun making? And which one surprised you with like the most views and feedback that you never would have thought that crazy thing would have generated that kind of response?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, the one I did yesterday, and I was like, okay, I'm putting myself out there because life is messy, right? Like, my hair is done today. My makeup is on because, I'm going to pluck it. But the one I posted yesterday that you're talking about is the one where like, I'm in no makeup, hair in a bun with glasses on. Like, this is real Brooke, wake up in the morning, and I got a lot of fun response from that one. Those transitions always do, because people are like, oh my gosh, like how she can go looking from that to that. But, I don't care. Like, it's real life. Right. But I had thousands of views on a video about tree coverage.
Yes.
And that was shocking. And that's another reason I was like, okay, people want to know about this stuff. Maybe they're too embarrassed to ask, or they didn't know to ask, but tree coverage. If my
Yes.
neighbor's tree falls on my property, is he going to pay for it? And so I made a video of like, here's the deal. Here's
Yes.
the real deal. And I got my son involved and he helped me and it was really cute. And it had thousands of views and thousands of comments. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to keep that up. And then, I've also made some funny ones. I think I had one scheduled to go out this morning that, was saying, when you're busy working and then that person who's, only wants to talk for 5 minutes calls, but they're really, really long-winded. And then it turns into a TED talk. Like that's for business owners. So like, who I'm talking about. Right.
Yes.
And so it just relates with people, but I tie it back as a funny because it is. I'm like, of course I'm going to talk to my customer, but
Yes.
like, it's relatable. So I think that's huge. Is just be you, be authentic, be relatable. Those things are going to get you the most views. And you know what? Even if you say, oh my gosh, this flopped in your mind and you got 50 views or 100 views, 100 people just heard you. 100 people watched you. I couldn't get 100 people in this building today if I was like, can you come listen to my spiel? You wouldn't get in front of 100 people. So, and then you just, the more relevant that you are and the more value you bring, the more people will watch and your audience will grow and your tribe will find you, right? You'll attract your tribe.
It will, we've come a long way. You and I both went to sales school separately, but in sales school, they teach you the idea, let's see if I can get Brooke and Jason to come to my office, get you on the opposite side of this table. And if I can put this brochure upside down and explain to you all the features and benefits of this policy, I've got you. But Brooke, you can't put a dollar figure on, if I could sum up what you achieved in a couple of words, I would say, through those videos, through those views, you're achieving top of mind awareness. And earlier you talked about Little Rock being a part of Tornado Valley. Yeah, I do want to know how my tree works because nobody's telling me. And I got a couple of trees, or my neighbor has trees, and they're old and they're weak, and I'm concerned it's going to wind up my roof. So that's the stuff I think that makes the biggest difference in the world. And I think that TOMA, top of mind awareness you achieve, is priceless. Would you encourage other agents to get involved in this space and to put themselves out there? Because what would it take to get 1,000 things seen otherwise? 1,000 pieces of mail, 1,000 leads? I don't think so.
Right. No, I mean, I encourage everyone to do it. Now, listen, it is a process and then you have to learn and you have to invest in it. If you don't want to be on camera, okay. Well, and there's probably team members that would love, your younger team member that would love to be out in front of the camera on social media, right? But whatever it is, if you decide to do it, you need to own it and you need to make sure that you're part of the process for sure. But
I love it. And
people are busy. They're not going to always come in your office. You're busy. I'm busy, right? Yes. The world is fast paced. If you want to keep up, like you're going to have to change some things. And this is a way you can automate things. And like I said, I scheduled these to go out. Like I set them and forget them.
Yes.
Those
are my words.
Be done, and then I can be in multiple places at one time.
I love it, Brooke. That's exactly what it's all about. So agents tuned into this, that's a gem right there. That's a jewel. Take that gem, take that jewel, run with it, duplicate it. Find Brooke on social media. I think you're in my top 5 funny people. You're right there with Nick Sock and a few other people that's having fun, going crazy on social right now. So Brooke, enough Allstate, enough social. I want to talk to you. I forgot to use a word in your introduction. You are a shero. You are a shero, which is a she hero, and you are doing a lot of things beyond immediately in your agency, very specifically to really help the ladies in this industry. So let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about beyond Allstate, beyond the agency. Talk about some other things that you're into right now that you'd like to share with the people.
I know you say beyond the agency and beyond work, but I mean, is there much outside of that? It's all kind of connected, right? Outside of work, we talk about work. But yes. I love being part of, a women's community. I mean, I love being a part of a community, period, men or women. But I feel like in our, in our occupation, it's male dominated, not as bad as it used to be. And so, but when I first started, it was me and one other girl. And I was like, hello, where's my girl gang? We love to do things like that. Right. So I love being a part of a women's community, but I love helping people regardless. And and it's still kind of work, but it's still kind of social media. But one of the things that, Casey Cookert and I are doing, we are helping people with social media. And, because again, lots to learn, platform strategy, what to say, how to do things, like what app do I use? How do you edit your videos? All of those things. So we kind of a very soft pilot launch of helping a small group of agents, and we've gotten really, really good feedback, and we've kind of ran with that. So it's not something that's like been super announced or anything like that, but because we're still scaling it and we're letting a few people in, but that's my fun. Insurance is not fun. This makes insurance fun. So now, I can be part of a community and I can help people and I can make insurance fun. So it all ties together, and I can put my regular life in there, and highlight my family, highlight my travel, and let people see, all sides of me. So it's it kind of comes full circle.
I love it. You've become the shero that you needed when you first started in the agency. And I'm so happy for you and Casey, who I'll talk to later today, about the community that you have created. So that's so awesome, because I believe people want to be in this space. They just need someone to hold their hand and show them how to get started. And what happens from there is the possibilities are absolutely endless. Brooke, beyond within, because to me, it's all the same thing, insurance, coach, and helping people. It's all the same thing. It comes from one brain. It's all the same idea. How can I reach and help more people? Well, helping more agents help more people helps me achieve my life purpose. I've seen you not only doing stuff within helping other Allstate agents, but I see you in your community. You're starting to talk with and help other local realtors and lenders with their social media as well. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Again, it's a great space. And again, it's all kind of connected, right? So when I go visit realtors, because, they have lunch and learns usually like once a week with different people, they'll line them up. And I didn't want to go in and talk boring insurance that they've heard a million times, right? And so I really wanted to bring value, because I think that's the super important thing. People will do business with you and you will find your tribe. You don't have to ask for it. Go give value.
Yes.
Go give value and expertise on something. So, do I know what their exact niche is and expertise, what they need to be posting on or helping them? No, I didn't. But you know what, who does? My Brooke bot, ChatGPT did. And I was like, help me create something to give value to these realtors and these lenders that can help them with their niche. And then I put something together with the help of ChatGPT and took it, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And so I love being a part of that. And then guess who's top of mind when it's time for, they found a home. They're like, oh, we're going to go give Brooke, she helped us with something. She didn't even ask us, hey, call me, and I'll sponsor an open house. Absolutely. And I will do all of those things for sure. And I've had a headshot event, for realtors as well. But it's more like, I want to give to you, so you find value, and then you'll find value in me. And that's how it's really helped my, referrals when it comes to, my COIs in our niche.
I love it. Well, Brooke, you brought up my favorite subject. You said the word BrookeBot and ChatGPT,
I know that's your hot button.
like it's common language. So you're in my wheelhouse. How much has AI and ChatGPT helped you to help others? I'll tell you a funny story. Last week, one of my customers was changing jobs. He's going from law enforcement and wanted to get into insurance, become an insurance fraud investigator. It's one of those things. In a prior life, I have a fair amount of Allstate connections that I may have been able to pick up the phone and call someone for him. But in this case, in this environment, my connections have moved a little bit. So what I did was I had him send me his resume. I revised it in ChatGPT and had them revise it so his background and experience fit for insurance. And also I asked ChatGPT to help me create a job search process for him that will be helpful. I did a Zoom call with him, showed him that, and he was blown away. So that's my story. But tell me your AI journey, how you started with it and what you're doing with it now and how you're helping people.
So, Chat GPT is kind of, I feel like it's really out there. I think everyone has heard of it, and I used to ask it some questions. I kind of treated it like Google, like help me find
Yes.
something. When you and I did our mastery class and you opened my eyes to, and you gave examples of, act like a, top notch viral, strategist on X and give me, and I was like, I've never done that. And so when I started doing those things, I was like, oh my gosh. And so now I can't even imagine life before it. I save so much brain power. And it's
Yes.
still me because, like, when it comes up, I'm like, no, I don't like that. That doesn't sound like me. Or change this. And it will keep adjusting and then it will learn you. And then now I'm like, did I say that or did ChatGPT say that? Because we've learned each other, or it's learned me. It's so smart. But now, like, I'm starting to dive into other, like, custom GPTs. There's one for plants. I'm a plant killer. I am
Yes.
not good, can't be good at all things, right? There's plenty I'm bad
Yes.
at. So I use ChatGPT. I'm like, why does my plant look like this? Right? There's a writing one. I am not fabulous at writing.
No.
And I think too fast and leave out words. And I'm like, clean me up, polish me up, and it will make it beautiful and present it. I've done resumes too for, family members. That's been
Yes.
amazing. So yeah, I love it. It's literally changed the way I do business and personal life.
I love it, Brooke. You gave so many examples. I don't think we need to expand upon it before there. So there's another gem. If you're hearing about ChatGPT, Little Rock, Arkansas, reach out to Brooke. She can help you. I'm just giving away all of your time, and I'm not leaving any for Jason the boy. So, Brooke, as we get ready to land this plane and wind down a little bit, this is called the Wine Down with Kev podcast because it's supposed to be my way of decompressing and maybe pivoting a little bit away from the workday. So, with all that you do and all that you do things for your agency, agencies that you coach and help, the brand that you're building, all those things, how do you wind down at the end of the day?
Well, speaking of wine down, I guess I couldn't have, wine at 11 o'clock, but, I really enjoy a nice glass of wine. Um, I like to turn on music when I get home, cook dinner for my family while the music's playing, have a glass of wine. That's a great way for me to decompress. However, not always because, brain fog and all that good stuff. And we're getting older, and even one glass of wine can give me a headache these days. So I'm really into mocktails. And so I just do the same thing with a mocktail and get the
Okay.
same result. So I can do a mocktail, like a moment. If you have never tried a moment, they are amazing. They have like adaptogens. Have you heard of that? And
No,
it's
don't
like,
tell the people. Let's stay there. Give us the ingredients for this mocktail for this moment. Let's talk about it.
yeah, so it's a canned drink and there's all sorts of different flavors. My personal favorite is strawberry rosé because it reminds me of like rosé champagne without the headache and the hangover. And and it makes you feel de-stressed. It has an adaptogen. I don't know. I'm not techie. I don't know what all that is. I just know it's something that's supposed to help you like reduce your cortisol levels and things like that. So it's been a really good, substitution for my wine and for my weight and all of the things when can substitute something good. So I'm definitely into my mocktails these days to help me wind down.
I love it. That's going to help somebody right there. Brooke, is there anything you wanted to share with everybody that I didn't ask you about? You want to talk about the launch? Is there a place people can find you? Is there anything that you're working on that you want to share with the people that I didn't ask?
Yeah, no, I just really, really appreciate you having me. I love always connecting with you, and you're such a good friend, and I appreciate you considering me today and having me on. Anyone who wants to reach out to me about anything we talked about today, you can find me on all the social media platforms. I'm most active on Facebook and Instagram. Brooke Brolo, just my name, Brooke, BROOKE, and I have a website. It's just not all the way up, but it's going to be brookebrolo.com. So I try to brand myself with my name so I'm easy to find. And, if you need help with social media, give me a shout. There's another thing, but you're going to have to wait till Casey gets on. It's something we're doing together, but just going to let her talk about something that we are starting up, but it has to do with Fridays. And I'm going to leave it at that.
You're gonna try to leave me with a cliffhanger. We're
Yeah.
not gonna end on a cliffhanger. I gotta ask you another question I
Oh,
actually
God.
forgot. All right, no cliffhanger ending. I did forget an important question. Someone in the state of Arkansas, or maybe you're hiring people remote, are gonna listen to this and they're gonna say, "My God, Brooke is a wonderful lady. I wonder if I could work for her. I would love to work for her." Tell me what you look for in someone that wants to get an insurance, wants to work with you, wants to work with the agency. What are the key attributes? What do they have to have?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Um, my big thing is discipline. Motivation is one thing, but there's a lot of days that I don't feel motivated, and I feel like that's pretty common around the board. So I look for someone who's disciplined, who can take constructive criticism, that's open to coaching and doing things differently. And if they have that drive and that want and the why behind it, then I'm willing to give them an opportunity. They get their license, they come to me, you call me, whatever, however they get to me, I will give you an opportunity. And it's a two-way street. I'm going to expect things from you, but you can expect things from me too, because I can't just say, I want you to go do this, this, and this, and then not give you the tool and the resources to do that. So that's what I look for. And that's kind of my process on bringing someone on. And yeah, I hope that answers your question.
It does. Ladies and gentlemen, Little Rock, Arkansas, entire state of Arkansas and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, Brooke Brolo, phenomenal guest. She wrote to her clients, she wrote to her family, she wrote to the lady agents that are out there that want some support. And gentlemen, because I called Brooke yesterday and I learned some stuff. So
Yeah.
guys, don't hold back. Don't let your macho ego get in the way. And from me, thank you for tuning in, watching this on live stream, listening to another episode of Wine Down with Kev. If you're tuned in on the podcast, thank you to everyone that's already subscribed. If you like this content, click on the subscribe button. Follow Wine Down with Kev. Biggest thanks to my sponsors, Carol Media and Canopy Connect. If you want to go digital, that's the way to go. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Wine Down with Kev. Brooke Brolo, find her everywhere on social media.
Thank you.